Thank you so much, Godfrey. Mind Food International is the home of excellence in corporate leadership training, seminars, and conferences worldwide, developing leaders and transforming nations. Here to talk to us about this, we're very happy to welcome Her Excellency Natassia Wright, who's the Executive Director for Mind Food International, as well as the United Nations Ambassador. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Your Excellency.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So excited to be here, joining my Bahamian family. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you and to know I think that it's a testament to your resilience already that you are still with us even as a storm is passing in Jamaica, the power is coming in and out. If that doesn't speak volumes to what we'll share today in terms of resilience, I don't know what will. But let's kind of go back. We've kind of explained what Mind Food International does, but let's learn more about you, the person that sort of created this beautiful space. What was your upbringing like?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in a community called Allentown in Kingston, Jamaica. So that's central Kingston. Poverty-stricken area, each time you visit these places, you'll see the evidence of various, issues that may be happening within that community. Well, I was born and raised there, and I remember as early as age 10, coming home to find my house burnt flat to the ground. Imagine how traumatic it must have been for me to leave to go to school, come back, and not even have clothes to wear. But that was my reality, and about 10 of my relatives, we were displaced for a while. We made it through, thank God. Months later, came home again from primary school to worse news. This time, I was told that my father, who was my absolute world, was shot and killed in the line of duty. So he was a police officer and he died that day. Now, I've experienced so many different challenges, but I must tell you that that one rocked me to the core. And so I believe, as young as I was facing facing depression, although not clinically diagnosed, but I always did well in school. By the time I went to high school, I'm now in fifth form. One particular Saturday, my mom, she went to do errands, returned home, right? And she had an asthma attack. Asthma attack was so bad that she had to go to the hospital. So I got a taxi for her because I was staying home with my younger brother, so I couldn't leave to go with her. And I remember putting her on that taxi, and that was the last time I saw my mother alive. So by the time I was 17 years old, I had lost both my mother and my father. And the worst part was when she died that Saturday night, Monday morning, I had 8 CXC exams to sit. So this whole weather situation is nothing compared to what I've had to push through.
Yeah.
Although my relatives were saying, don't go, you wouldn't have studied. We're all in shock, mourning. I still went and I ended up with 6 2s and 2 1s. So I didn't fail anything at all. I had a grandmother who was living in the States. She came home to take care of my brother and I. And she died 1 year after my mother passed away from cancer. I've seen gang violence. I know what it's like to live in situations. You really wonder if you're going to become a product of that. And I just enjoy sharing with individuals and especially young people to let them know that your present situation, it does not define where you're going or your destiny.
So powerful. This is so powerful, Your Excellency. And how did you use all of that? There's just so much that happened there. And yet I know that there's people watching today who resonate with you, right? Because as devastating as your story is, you're not alone in it. How did you use all of those challenges that you faced to overcome and to create stepping stones into the person that we see today?
That's an absolutely great question. Now, I know that there are many persons listening right now who can actually understand because they have been through similar situations or even worse. And the truth is, I had to come to a realization that although my parents didn't make it past a certain age, although things look really horrible, there must be some there must be some golden line. There must be some light at the end of the tunnel. There must be something that is good that can come out of all of this. And I believe that wholeheartedly, Anastasia. And I decided that I was going to find that. And so if it meant that I needed to change how I was speaking to myself, if it meant that I needed to believe in myself, push a little harder, I did it. Yeah. I did it. I went there because I truly believe that I could be an inspiration to someone out there.
All right. And with that being said, how did Mind Food International get its start?
Great question as well. So it's so funny because I remember my husband and I, we were exposed to a lot of emails being on it was an empowerment or mentorship program. And, you know, he got an idea to send out morning inspirations, and I really wasn't feeling it. But after he mentioning it the third time, I said, okay, fine, let's go for it. The first day we did that thing, we got so many calls, so many messages. People were saying, listen, I was feeling so depressed going to work today. It was a Monday morning as well that we started. And, you know, persons just sharing their story and saying how we have helped them to go through that day. And we continued doing it. Soon after, people started inviting us to come into their organizations, to do events, to speak. We ended up publishing a book, started having conferences. Today, Mind Food has had over 50 conferences, both here in Jamaica and internationally. We are 3 times author, United Nations ambassador, Governor General awardees, and these are just through community development projects and the work that we are doing in corporate. So today we are an HR consultancy and leadership training company.
Wow, phenomenal story, phenomenal story. Love to hear the partnership between you and your husband in making that happen as well. And so when you look toward the future, especially for people here in the Bahamas, for example, how would we be able to get involved with Mind Food International? What are some of those programs that we can, you know, start to take advantage of to see our own lives begin to transform much as yours has?
Absolutely. I must mention that the start of our company is so ingrained with the Bahamian culture because our mentor was mentored by the great Dr. Miles Monroe. And so we love Bahamas because we were literally grown all the way from there to here through his words and his mentorship. Now, if you want to reach out to Mind Food International, you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook. Also, you can find us via the web. We have a website. You can also look me up on Instagram, Natassia Wright. It's Natassia. I'm sure my name is there somewhere on Instagram and Facebook. But our website is www.mindfoodinternational.com. Now we have leadership trainings that are specifically designed for organizations who are seeking to just maybe engage their employees. Maybe they're looking to reduce certain issues that are happening in their company. Maybe you just need recruitment and you need someone who is here in Jamaica to help your organization in whatever shape or form. Just reach out to us if you need a speaker or any of those services that you believe we can help with. I will also leave a number for you. It's 876-781-8614. That's 876-781-8614.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ms. Wright. It really has been a pleasure speaking with you this morning. I hope that our audience, much like me, has just felt inspired by you and the work that you do. And just as a reminder to us all that we can overcome anything once we're putting the right mind food into our bodies, right? And then that starts with just looking at mindset and how we see things, much like you described. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. We trust that this will not be the last time that we see you here in Bahamas at Sunrise, and certainly not the last time that we see you working here in the Bahamas. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday, Cairo.
Yay! You've been watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We've been connecting with Her Excellency Natassia Wright. She's joined us from Jamaica through the storms, literally there now in the storms of life. And we're going to be back with more Bahamas at Sunrise in just a minute.